I have over 4,000 hours in this game, but I actually don't play it very often, and most of my time has been spent modding it, and we will be fixing that. We'll be starting off with Afghanistan, as I haven't played them, and, you know, obviously they're the first nation when you're going A to Z. I haven't played any of the Middle Eastern nations through the new DLC, or the Japanese DLC, but we'll be starting here. I'm excited to see the new focus tree, and all the content that's in it. It's actually, I don't know, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but I'm gonna want to go down the path which gives me the most claims, the most like core states. I want to try and expand. We don't have that many neighbors we can expand into because we can't fight the Raj of the Soviet Union. But you know, Persia, Iran's definitely on the chopping block. We can probably get some states through there. All right, I've now found the path I want to go down. I mean, it gives like 189. That's 192, I think. Yeah, 192 claim states that we can core. We're gonna have to form a I think it's just uniting Arabia, or I think it's like uniting all the Islamic nations, but we can get cores on all of them, and that gives us war goals against like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and all the other, and like Turkey I think too, and all the other Islamic nations. I think it'll give us ones against you know, the British and French puppets like Syria, Palestine, etc. But we're, you know, obviously not going to be able to go in against them. I'm nowhere near that good. I'm actually pretty trash, but, you know, that's who we'll go as. We got some okay leaders. This dude's not bad, actually. We don't have any field marshals, though. But our industry's small, too. I think the best thing we're going to be able to do is just build railways to connect all of our towns. Try and get some supply, you know, prepare for the future wars. I forgot to mention it, or, you know, not forgot to mention it. The idea came, well, I did forget to mention it, but the idea came in my head, the thought came in my head. I said our generals were actually decent, you know, and they weren't that bad. I just thought about it, but, you know, they're better, their stats are better than most of the Italian generals, and that's just horrible. I actually want to go and take a look at, China, since I haven't seen them after, like, the new DLC. I haven't actually looked at them. Let's see, they got Sichuan, oh no, it's Hebei, Chahar Creek, Sichuan Creek, no, Shandong, why do I keep saying Sichuan? Sichuan Creek is there, the Guangxi Creek, Guangdong Creek, Guangdong is new, Guangxi is smaller than it used to be. Do they have unique focus trees? I don't think so. Yeah, this isn't unique, this is just a generic. They do have a Japanese path though, I didn't expect that. I wonder how they do it since it's shared focuses. The path that we've chosen to go down on the focus tree is going to have us do is going to bring us into a civil war, but there are a few focuses we can complete beforehand to get support from Japan, Germany, you know, the locals, and other groups. Right now, what we need to do is just do all of them except for the Germany one. We need to wait for the German Civil War to end, but once we do that, or once that ends, we can get their support, and then we'll be able to start off the Civil War. So the war hasn't started yet, but, you know, a few things have happened. The Hindenburg has just crashed, and the Chinese United Front formed. One thing I forgot, though, with the new DLC was that the American Commonwealth, you know, the USA gets its own faction. But also, another thing of note is that Britain has gone monarchist. So the Raj, or Dominion of India now, well, they're going to be the Dominion of India, but the British Raj has become independent, along with all the other British colonies and territories. But, because we will be able to invade them as long as Britain doesn't get them back before we are able to put our hands on them. And things look like the communists are going to win in Sinkiang, in East Turkestan, whatever you want to call it. Alright, the Civil War has now begun. We have the Golden Emir as our leader. We have 12 divisions, and I need to sort them all. I don't think they're all good divisions, but I've also assigned, you know, our army staff and whatnot, you know, used up the political power to try and advance us. I increased our economic, like, mobilization to partial. We got our country leader as a field marshal now, but I'm going to go ahead, take care of the Civil War, and we'll get back when the next thing happens.
One eternity later.
Alright, the Civil War is finally over. We have given us 1,200 guns and some other equipment. We still have a horrible deficit of guns. But now that the Civil War is over, we can finally continue down the focus tree. We actually have just completed a focus that opens us up perfectly. Alright, there we go, it's done. Let's see, which path was it? I mean, I don't really want to be a caliphate, so, like, the monarchist path is looking good, but, I don't know. I mean, how many cores will let us get? I don't think it's going to be as many as the caliphate. I'm gonna go ahead and, advance the Emirate or whichever we pick, or, the next event, but I don't think we're gonna be able to beat the Caliphate's, cores and expansion possibilities. I don't really know how to say it, but that'll probably be what we end up doing anyways. Alright, we ended up going down the Caliphate path, and we've actually just started the war with the Iranian Empire. So my plan is to, my plan is to withdraw into our nation to where there's no supply, to cut off, make their divisions not have any supply. We also got some decisions to, raise resistance in southern Central Asia that's controlled by the USSR. But it's not really going to do a whole lot. But, as you can see, we're getting good attack, or maybe not, but I don't know. I hope this works, because I kind of just gave up like a third of my nation, or a quarter of my nation, to try and cut off their supply, but it's not going to work. We actually just cooked ourselves. The Dominion of India ended up giving up a few territories. I actually thought we might get stuck in a war for it, since it said they might, go to war over it. But they didn't. They let us have it. It's not helping a lot. We're still stuck, and now we can't push back. The USA is going communist, it looks like. They're at war with the Philippines too. I didn't mean to just pause, and Philippines is fascist. Well, I mean, that's interesting, but we're screwed, so I'll get back to the next thing I gotta do. As you might can see, I got Iraq involved in the war. They're not doing too well. I thought they would take off the pressure that we needed in order to capitulate Iran, but they got in the war, didn't really do a whole lot. They lost land. I couldn't push Iran any further, even though we might get an encirclement. But on top of that, Iraq completed a focus that gave the British a war goal on them. So now they're at war with the entire Stresa front, since it's not the Allies, it's the Stresa front with Italy. So that means they're at war with Italy, France, and Great Britain. So they've cooked themselves. I definitely can't help them. All I can do is sit here and try and get this encirclement. Pretty safe to say this war's going pretty bad for everyone involved. We've lost like almost 300,000 men, and they've lost nearly 500,000 men. They eventually declared war on Turkey, and Turkey just got Bulgaria as a puppet. We've been getting encirclements too, so their casualties growing up even further. I found a way that I can just retreat in these three provinces back and back, and they'll come into it. I know it's kind of cheesy, but there's literally nothing else we can do. We can't take states. They can't take states. Like, they can take up to where they are now in the 3 states that I keep getting back and getting encirclements in. But after that, neither of us can push either way. But I'm hoping that Turkey will clean up, or at least, push them far enough that they'll take troops off me, and then I can clean them up. Until then, we're still at the stalemate, and it's not going anywhere. Nothing ever happens. The Stresa front has actually gotten involved, and that's what it took to finally defeat Iran. They still haven't given up. They should soon. They've moved their capital, I think, 2 or 3 times already. We have most of the war score still, since we've been in this war forever, but I think we've gotten down like 60 something, and there they go. I'm gonna try and get everything I can. I don't think they're not gonna let me, but I'm gonna definitely get the coastline. I'm gonna try and get the resource states. We cored Tehran already, so I'm definitely gonna get it, but the war is finally over. Britain is probably gonna take everything, but it took until like 1944 to get this much done. The peace deal has finally ended. We got, like a third of Iraq, all of, Iraq that Iran controlled. We got all of Iran except for like the northwestern states. They got to keep one of the states. Turkey got a puppet, one state puppet in Kurdistan, and Italy got the Azerbaijani regions in Persia. So their Russia is just huge. There's really nothing more we can do. I'm just coring all the states and doing minor focuses for like 1 or 2 factories here and there. We still have war goals in a lot of nations, like the Dominion of India, Britain, Italy, Russia. We got a whole bunch of war goals on everyone. But the only nations we could realistically go to war with now are Turkey and Saudi Arabia, since they're not anyone's puppet. But it's just going to turn into the same thing that Iran was. And I'm thinking I'm done. I'm tired. I've done this for, I've been playing for like a few hours, and I'm ready to go to sleep. So you can see everything we've got down in the focus tree. We're basically done with the content that's available for Afghanistan. I hope you all like the video. I'll be making the next one, Albania. I don't know when it'll be out, but hopefully it'll be in a timely manner.